Hi friends, Concy here from atop Serenity Hill. Today I wanted to share how I got started art journaling and show you my very first art journal and then give you a little peek inside some of my other art journals. I probably won't go through all of them in depth. If you're interested in one in particular, please comment below and let me know, and I can always do a video about that specific art journal. And if you enjoy what I do, I would love if you subscribed to my channel, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you love what it is that you're watching. So I got started art journaling. I'll push them to the side because this is the original right here, in 2014. And it started with a group called the Documented Life Project. That was where I found art journaling. I'm not obviously, because you don't know me if you've just met me. I've been an artist all my life, but it was more like craft shows and murals and face and body painting. And what I was looking for was a way to make my to-do list pretty so that I would actually do stuff. That's basically what I went onto the internet looking for. This is the beginning of the book. I'll continue the story as I talk at the same time. This is the beginning of it. The book is a Moleskine planner. You can see it looks like it had a monthly here, and then it had a weekly spread, and then it had a blank page for notes. That's what the Documented Life ladies, there were 5 of them, called Art to the Fifth, used and taught us for a year. So I went on the internet looking for a way to make my to-do list pretty and came across this fabulous concept. I actually have a note here that I discovered the Documented Life Project through Lori at LV Studios. She's a watercolor artist, really delightful. And then they shared issue number 4 of the Heart Journal magazine. And this is my answer to my dilemma of how to keep a to-do list. Rock on. Don't you love it? So I discovered them obviously in March of 2014 because that's where I started. I just taped up everything else. And I'm not going to end up showing you all of it because it is my planner from 2014, so there's some private things. But the way they worked is that we would build a planner, the planner part on the left side. There's lots of different ways they were doing it on Facebook. We had a Facebook group, and there were thousands of people participating in this. So the amount of ideas that were coming out of it were crazy. But every week there was a prompt of something they could do on this page, and then a prompt on how to structure everything else. And everything had this fold out or tip in or tip out. I've heard it called a million different things. And so, and I'm sure I have a feeling this was the response to the prompt. And if I can find the link to this again, Documented Life Project, I'll leave it below. So please go check and see if I have found it. And so every week, it was my way of discovering art journaling, using photos and bits and pieces and washi tape. And so, I remember this prompt. This prompt was start and then hand it to a couple people and have them finish. I actually wrote, this prompt was to have someone draw on the page and then add to it. So my husband drew part of it, and I think that was my husband, and then my best friend Christine drew this part, and I filled it in. So it was where I learned how to do all kinds of things with art journals. I've painted like for all my life, face painting, and I taught decorative painting and toll painting, but that is completely different than diving into the world of mixed media and, cutting up bits of ephemera and working with washi tape and paper punches and, allowing myself to actually use what I know about watercolor and acrylics that I did, and doodling and all the different glues that they used. And it was just really super fun. It was really, really fun. I think this was Write Your Name, but we'll go with that. To dive into it and to try all the different mediums. And, it was really my intro into this. There's a way to intro into art journaling that can be very simple. You need a journal, a glue stick, some bits of collage paper, maybe some watercolor, and a couple doodle pens. You can do lots with that. So this was really fun, and this kept me entertained for many years. I'm not many years, for many months. It was very overwhelming having to do your planner page ahead of time, writing my to-do list, plus doing, oh, thou art that. One of my favorite phrases, and doing the prompts. So it did get a little overwhelming depending on how my life was going. That's my husband, Lee. And this was a pair of shoes he gave me, and I body painted my legs to match the shoes. Because, I combine all my art together. So it kept going. This is June. So lots that you can see, lots of color and collage material and stamping. I started carving like foam stamps, so that was part of it. You can see, it's all kinds of things. It's awesome. And then near the end, starting to get in September, I stopped doing the tip outs. And so the thing with this was that it was my art journal. I was on my own journey, and the tip outs were too much. So I would do just the prompt for the weeks, and then, whatever the prompt was, I would make an art journal page. And there were some weeks where life just happened, and all I did was the prompt. And so that's kind of where I took the planner part out of art journaling for me. I don't really even do the planner part of art journaling anymore. My planner is separate, and my art journaling is its own entity. I do a lot of journaling and art journaling now, but not so much the planner. And I did have a couple years where I would add things to my planner, or I would doodle in a planner. I would try different things where I would, as I was learning, as we're always learning and evolving, and we see something new someone does, then I would try it and see if it would stick with me and if it wouldn't stick with me. And honestly, I like bouncing between journals a lot. So hence the reason you saw another pile of them. But so that didn't work for me to do this like daily, every page planner system. But this will never, I will never throw this away. I throw away a lot of my planners because I just don't care after a while. But this is me. Like, this is how I discovered where I am now 10 years later. Oh my God, I just figured out it was 10 years. It's been 10 years, people. And this is one of my favorites. I share this a lot on Instagram. Dear past, thank you for all the lessons. Dear future, I am ready. This is so relevant right now as I'm about to leave my day job and go art full time. There you go. And then the last page that I did that year, all of December, ended up just being Christmas cards cut up. So, and then I just taped up the rest of it. And so part of it is for me to tell you to give yourself permission to, you might start in a journal, or you might start on this process of art journaling and discover that what someone is teaching you and what you're following isn't working for you anymore. And that it's okay to jump off the bandwagon. There's my little skull. Love them. So some of my other journals, I discovered through this process that I tend to like to make my own journals. So I eventually got into making my own. This is just a piece of canvas that I painted and decorated. Again, with a lot of the knowledge, you can always see circles show up, and this has texture medium on it. And these are, sewn in. They're sewn signatures. And just mixed media or watercolor paper. And so they become whatever I want them to be. Like, I think I was going through do a flower every day for something. I was following some prompts, and eventually it stops. And then I go and do something else. And I love that my art journals are not necessarily encapsulated like day to day to day to day, or week to week, or month to month. I jump around. I use them. I teach a lot of art journaling, so I jump around and teach techniques and share. So sometimes the page would be half started, and then I would come back and have to finish the page. I just never know. Sometimes some of these are finished-ish, some aren't. This, I believe, was something with Amy Tangerine. This feels like I was doing a lesson following something she was doing. So, you know, I can't even remember a lot of them. I just know that I was following a prompt or just trying something. This has actually become a class that I've taught multiple different times. And this was a testing ground for my idea. And, you know, patterns. See? Enough of it, and it shows up. So yeah, so this is, again, you know, like some of it didn't even get finished. It was just a testing ground, and this ended up being put in upside down. So that was one. Then one of the other ways I love to journal is through cardboard journals, and this is actually on here on YouTube. There'll be a video, I'll put it up in here, to make this cardboard journal. I talk about it a lot. I'll flip through it, just some quick pieces of it, because I do have a flip through in that video. But, you know, I love the concept of it doesn't have to be precious. So look, it's 2020. You can tell when I did this. And it doesn't have to be precious. Your journal can be made of cardboard. It doesn't have to have a finished page. You know, I couldn't think what to go past it, so it's done. And, you know, it's a testing ground. It's a way to play, try things. You know, this was teaching a concept of layering of collage pieces in a class. This was just because I was having fun. So I want you to really think about, you know, what kind of journals do you need? A lot of people like to use composition notebooks because they're inexpensive and you can glue pages together. Well, cardboard is as inexpensive as you can get. If you are anybody that gets anything in the mail, you're getting cardboard all the time in the form of a box. So it's cardboard and masking tape and then just some art supplies. And it can literally be as simple as, falling apart. As simple as, again, some paper and a glue stick. It just glues stuff down, a magazine. So from this, I also made a smaller version, and this is one I'm working on right now. And so I will link this below, but this is the one that I'm doing. Let me flip to it. All the intention cards for this year, for this is 2024 that I'm talking through this, and I'm making a video for intention cards for every month. And at the making of this video, I've just finished March, and then I'm actually going to use this for the rest of it. So I broke my own rule about, you know, using a journal for something specific, but it worked out that there was enough pages and it kept it consistent. So if you're working through something like the 100-day challenge, or a challenge that someone else is doing, a 30-day challenge, then it might be fun for you to pick a journal and just build it with enough pages just for that. But the worry about that I always get, I want you to be careful about, is that I don't want you to feel like you failed if you didn't finish all 30 days or all 30 pages. Then just fill it up with something else. So be gentle with yourself and know that this is not a race. It is not, unless you're planning to make it your livelihood and you're going to build art journals and sell them, that's different. But if this is your hobby and this is your creative outlet, let it be about play and fun and curiosity and experimentation. So this is definitely an experimentation, and this is a card catalog. It is not a card catalog. It is a catalog, a magazine, by a company called Prana, because, inevitably someone will ask me, what catalog is that? And I loved the paper in it. Let me find a page. I've actually found better. This is still slick, and some of the newer catalogs are more recycled paper, and it feels more like newsprint, which is delightful. But I just wanted to try using something unconventional, and so I used this magazine. This picture right here with the VW bus is actually part of the cover. So it was an inspiration to, talk about the adventure and my journal and embrace the journey. And even this part, for people who live fully, play long, and travel well, that's actually part of the cover. So always look to what, shows up in the mail for free. And so I'll flip through this a little bit. And the same thing, I just kind of use it to play in. And you know, put some paint down, stencil. I love a lot of stencils, you know, lots of collage notes that people have given me. And, you know, it's not all covered. There's still a lot of pages left in it. It's one of those journals that starts to talk to me. And I'm like, ooh, let me go back in and work on it again. So this was using it for a vision board, which is awesome because, you know, there's some parts of the back that this is the actual magazine. So, you know, and then I've skipped ahead and filled in here and there. Just whatever. This was a page that I was doing as a garden scene, and honestly, I was planning to cover it. I just liked some of the background color. And then as I was playing with it, I realized that she still worked. So I ended up using the model in the photo as the garden, as part of the garden scene. So, you know, use the magazine and let it speak to you. There's another one. Yeah, this was another one where this couple is also part of the magazine. And then I just built around it. Summer Days Again, also part of the magazine. All right. Most of this is the magazine. So again, something unconventional like a magazine, a catalog. See if you like the paper and go with it. And then of course I'm going to do I have three more that I'm going to briefly flip through. I did go back recently in the last 2 years to a pre-made journal. It was given to me at the library that I teach. We give these as journals for everyone, and this is a dot page, like a bullet journal, dot journal, I guess they call it. You can see the dots here. So most people use these as bullet journals. They're usually flat, obviously very thin, but you add enough stuff to it. And I have found this to be like a great, delightful page book to work in, and I'll link it below. It's something that you can get a 3-pack for really inexpensive. So I would say it would be, if you had to choose between like getting this and some composition notebooks, these are really awesome. One, I love the size. Its composition notebooks are a little bit bigger, so sometimes they can be a little bit intimidating for like newer people, but this paper is delightful to work on. It takes so much medium. I've put everything you can possibly imagine in this. So, and the pack of 3 is relatively inexpensive. So I'll put the link for that below for you. And you can see, again, like lots of layers and modeling paste, so much ink and, you know, watercolor. And these, I think this in the background is the mermaid markers from Jane Davenport, which bleed through everything. But, you know, it didn't bleed through. It bled through a little bit, but I'm covered it up. And the same thing, it came through, but I just kept covering it up. So I'll flip through this just a little bit. There's a lot of videos in here that are part of I use this book as part of a series where I did 3 prompts, and me and another artist would take the 3 prompts and interpret it. So I'll link that playlist below because a lot of the pages in here are from that. So lots of collage. This is just paint and colored pencil. This is one of the videos from that group of people that I worked with. So again, you know, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be anything busy. This is my interpretation of working with white space because I tend to be more this, like cover all the stuff. So this was me working with some white space. And then this is my Start with the Mark challenge from 2023. It's right there. And so this, I glued in the prompt list that I had given everyone, and so they could fill it in. This was the prompt sheet, and then I did a complete page using all the prompts one at a time. So, but yeah, so this is, you know, don't be afraid to have a conventional journal if building one is not your thing. I covered the outside and then just stapled on. I have no idea where this ribbon thing came from. I have no idea, but it was delightful, and it wrapped around the book, and all I did was staple it onto the book, and then I have a tie. And so my final two things to show you are junk journals, like true junk journals. And what I mean by that is that the paper is not any of it is the same size. It comes from a million different sources. There's printer paper and book paper and cardstock and tracing paper, deli paper, magazine pieces. It is like a million different pieces that you just find in your scrap pile. So I have this one, and this was my very first junk journal, and this is all sewn in. I actually took it to my sewing machine and sewed all the signatures in. My sewing machine was just delightedly happy about that. And I think there might be a video. If I find the videos, everything will be listed below if there is a video that can extend your viewing pleasure on how to make something or dive into some of the pages I did. Please do that. And if you're enjoying this, hit the thumbs up right now and subscribe to me if you have not, so you can continue on my journey here on YouTube as I share my art journaling process and journey in creativity. So this had a lot of crazy pages in it, which was really fun. Some of them had holes in them. I really, really enjoyed. This was a full piece of canvas. I really, really enjoyed working in this. I haven't quite finished. I think I have a few more pages. Let's flip to the back and see. Yeah, so these are a few that I did recently. So yeah, I just have this many. It's almost finished. I have to work on that. I also put pockets in this because I was testing out how to keep this fabric. Had no sizing in it, whereas this one is got gesso on it. It's like finished canvas. This was raw canvas and it was very floppy. So I ended up gluing these pockets onto the front and back to keep some stability to the canvas cover. And then this is my final junk journal. This junk journal is part of my membership called the Creative Playground. I teach how to paint this, how to paint the cover, yes, but how to build it, and also a lot of videos on the pieces that are in here. So this was a massive undertaking as far as it's got 3 signatures. I'm probably only about a third of the way finished, and a lot of experimentation and play people, play in here. And just, it's a different shape too than the ones I usually do, more vertical journals, and a lot of this was horizontal. So it definitely tested a little bit of what I was doing. And I love these were, again, I love the idea of the junk journal where this is big and then it goes to nothing, or a skinnier piece. So you're never quite sure where how it's going to connect, which is just delightful. I do a lot of double page spreads in journals like this, but mostly because I enjoy connecting the 2 crazy pieces to each other. So yeah, and then a good chunk of this is still not done. I start to jump around in it a lot. So I hope that gives you a little, some ideas about your own art journaling process or your own art journaling journey. If you have just discovered this and you know nothing about art journaling, then, comment below and maybe I can send you in a direction of a video that you could start with, or a class. My membership is always something that would get you involved with art journaling. I do a lot of not that I cater to beginners, but I cater to people who just want to keep it simple and enjoy the process and just play and follow their curiosity. And I would love to have you be a part of that. So I hope that this, if you're a seasoned art journaler, I hope this sparks some ideas for you to jump into your own art journal within the next few days and try something out that you saw that gave you some inspiration. Thanks so much, everyone. I will see you soon in another video. Bye.